Hello, beautiful people. So today's Testimony Tuesday is a little bit taboo, the topic. It's about premarital sex and fornication. Most people don't like to talk about it if they are doing it and they claim to be Christians. They don't like to talk about it. So I'll tell you my testimony and what happened to me. I'll start. So I was in a long-term relationship with a guy together for 3 years, but we had not had sex. And it wasn't really that hard to withstand for me. But one day it became so hard. I just know like the spirit of lust was in my house, and I know it for sure because I can feel it, I can hear it, I can just like when I look back on the situation, I can observe it. Like I can process everything and say, yeah, that was lust that had played a part in what happened. So I'll get to the story. So again, me and him was together for 3 years, and we never really did anything out of the ordinary. But one day, he just was like so adamant about like doing stuff, and I'm like, no, no, no. But at this point, I like kind of gave in, and I could not like control myself. He couldn't control himself, and somehow we did not go through with it, and that's by the grace of God. But I learned to pray in those moments, like when you feel temptation, when you feel overtaken, just begin to pray, like the Lord will make a way. So 1 Corinthians 10:13 reads, "The temptation in your lives are no different from what others experience, and God is faithful. He will not allow temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, He will show you a way out so that you can endure." Before this happened, the Lord actually gave me a dream, and in the dream, it was like a man trying to break into my house. And I didn't understand what it meant until after the fact of everything happening and taking place. But it was like a man trying to break into my house through my front porch. And that was symbolic of what was going to happen or what could have happened. So after that happened, like I just felt so bad and I was beating myself up, like really beating myself up about it, like because I knew I was wrong and I couldn't even believe that I can sin against the Lord, like almost going all the way, like had something not happened. I can't remember what happened that caused us not to. I would have literally sinned against the Lord and sinned against my flesh. So I just like was so bummed out like for a week straight. And I just like was moping around like and just I guess mourning, so to speak, because I was wrong and I knew I was wrong. But I just couldn't understand how, like, I felt like I was a person that was strong in the spirit. So how did this happen to me? So I think Friday came and I still was like sad and beat myself up, kept thinking about it. And the Lord told me I had wanted to go to Kmart for a long time, and Kmart was closed, and I wanted to get some jewelry. And this is just how awesome the Lord is. He knows our hearts. This is how I know He knows our hearts. He knew I was like I was repenting and remorseful for what I did. And I was really like beating myself up about it. The Lord told me to go to Kmart that Friday. It was probably like an hour before they closed. He told me to go, and I went to the one, like, it was really far from my house. It had to be like 45 minutes from my house, at least, or 40 minutes from my house. And I began to pick out jewelry, I set a limit, like, okay, I'm only going to spend $250. That's it. So I began to look at jewelry and pick what I wanted. I got my mom some stuff, I got my sister some stuff, and I just was like getting jewelry. So I saw this ring, which is really pretty, and it's like a statement of who I am. Like the Lord chose this ring for me, and I actually wear it as a chastity ring because the Lord paid for it for me. He bought it for me. He chose it for me. So after that, I realized, like once I got this ring, that it was a chastity ring, and it was given to me by the Lord. So that's why I wear this ring. But long story short, I went to check out, and again, this was an hour before they were closed, and the store's going out of business. I ring up all my stuff, and I think it rung up at like $250. And I put my credit card in, but in the midst of the transaction, the lady who was ringing me up, she had to go somewhere else because the manager called her somewhere else. So another lady came over, and she was like, okay, so she's doing my transaction, and everything seemed like it went through, but like it said $0. So I told her, like, no, this says $0. She was like, no, it says you paid for it. Go ahead, you paid for it. So like in the midst of all this, they were too busy trying to close and make sure everything was running smoothly during like the closing. I literally did not, like, something happened with the credit card machine. It froze or something, but it did not charge my card. So for 2 weeks, I kept checking my card and checking my card to see if the $250 had came off. And it didn't. It never came off. So I just like laughed, and I just knew it was the Lord. Like, He paid for this for me. And then, like, I just love this ring. And actually, the lady, she was like influential. She was like, yeah, that's like a princess ring. And she was just like telling me, but the Lord actually bought this ring for me. He paid for it. He plundered the whole store. I left with $250 worth of jewelry, and I couldn't take it back because the store had closed 2 weeks after that. So the Lord is amazing. He knows our hearts. He will not like punish you if you are repenting and if you are remorseful for what you did and you know you did what was wrong. And it's all about our hearts. Like, He knows our hearts. And I just like felt so bad about it. Like, and I just could not believe that I can do such a thing to the Lord. Like, I had, and it had been like, I think at that point it had been like 4 years of me being celibate. Like, how could I do this? How could this happen? I could not understand it. But the Lord, again, He knows our hearts. He is beautiful. And He just like made me feel better. Like, I see what you did. I know what you did. I forgive you. And here, wear this to symbolize that you are chastened until I give you a husband, until you wed the man that I choose for you. So it's just a beautiful story to me, a beautiful story of love. So Psalms 51 verses 16 through 17 says, "You do not desire a sacrifice, or I will offer one. You do not want a burnt offering. The sacrifice you desire is a broken spirit. You will not reject a broken and a repentant heart, O God." God willing, in the next video or so, just discuss sexual sin and how it really affects you. Like, every part of your being, sexual sin will affect you. So it's best to just be obedient and abstain from having sex until you're married, because again, it affects you like mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And it's just bad. Like, you will have like long-term issues from this, with soul ties and just things like that. So Lord willing, I will do a video of everything the Lord has informed me of with fornication and sharing your body and free love. So I'll talk about that, God willing, in another video.